Building wealth in a way that aligns with biblical principles requires us to understand that wealth itself is a resource to be managed wisely, not something to pursue for its own sake. The Bible teaches that real prosperity goes beyond material possessions and instead emphasizes a life grounded in purpose, integrity, and generosity. When we take a God-centered approach to wealth, we can pursue financial goals without losing sight of our deeper values and responsibilities. This perspective helps us balance our ambitions with a strong moral foundation, guiding us to use our resources to make a positive impact on the lives of others. The first principle of building wealth God's way is recognizing that everything ultimately belongs to God. Psalm 24 verse 1 says, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it." This reminds us that our wealth, skills, and talents are gifts from God, entrusted to us to manage wisely. When we see our resources as God's, it changes our approach from one of ownership to one of stewardship. This shift allows us to focus on how we can use our wealth to honor God's purposes, rather than just for our own gain. Stewardship involves caring for our resources with responsibility, making decisions that reflect God's values, and using our wealth to contribute to the well-being of others. Instead of accumulating wealth for personal satisfaction, we aim to use it in ways that create lasting positive change. With this perspective, we start to see wealth not as a means of power, but as a way to serve. By investing in our communities, supporting causes that reflect God's love, and helping those in need, we build wealth with an eternal impact. Jesus' parable of the talents in Matthew 25 emphasizes this idea, showing how God values effort, growth, and accountability. In this parable, servants who are entrusted with their master's wealth are expected to make wise investments that increase its value. Through this story, we learn that God encourages us to grow and be intentional with our resources. Building wealth becomes a way to honor God's trust in us, making it a meaningful pursuit based on service and purpose. Another key biblical principle for wealth building is diligence and hard work. Proverbs 10 verse 4 says, "Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth." The Bible encourages a strong work ethic, viewing our work as a way to worship and honor God. When we put our best efforts into what we do, we not only gain financial rewards, but also develop character and discipline. Diligence is about working with integrity, focusing on quality and fairness, and treating others respectfully. We are called to be honest and to avoid shortcuts that may compromise our values. Proverbs 11 verse 1 reinforces this with the warning, "The Lord detests dishonest scales, but accurate weights find favor with him." God values honesty and fairness, reminding us that true wealth is earned through hard work and respect for others. Our talents and skills are unique gifts that we can develop and use to make a difference. By identifying our strengths and using them in our work, we create value in the world and honor God's gifts to us. Colossians 3 verse 23 encourages us to work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord. This mindset reminds us to approach every task, big or small, with dedication and excellence, not to gain approval from others, but to honor God. As we diligently work and grow our skills, we build wealth with integrity, purpose, and a sense of accomplishment rooted in faith. Generosity is a third principle that might seem counterintuitive to wealth building. Proverbs 11 verse 25 tells us, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." The Bible teaches that wealth isn't just for accumulation. It's meant to be shared. When we give freely, whether it's through supporting causes, helping those in need, or tithing to our church, we experience the joy and blessings of generosity. Giving fosters a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity, reminding us that our wealth is a means to reflect God's love and care. In 2 Corinthians 9 verses 6 to 8, Paul encourages believers to give cheerfully, noting that God loves a generous heart. This kind of joyful giving opens us up to blessings in unexpected ways, showing that wealth shared is wealth that brings meaning. Generosity keeps us grounded and helps us maintain a healthy perspective on wealth. In Luke 12 verse 15, Jesus warns, "Watch out. Be on your guard against all kinds of greed." Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. Giving helps us avoid the trap of constantly wanting more and shifts our focus to how we can make a positive difference. We learn to appreciate what we have and use it to help others, trusting that God will continue to provide for us as we share. The Bible also emphasizes the importance of managing debt wisely. Proverbs 22 verse 7 says, "The borrower is servant to the lender." While debt isn't forbidden, it's clear that excessive debt can lead to stress and limit our freedom. Living within our means, saving for the future, and making responsible spending choices are ways we can avoid the burden of debt. Financial freedom allows us to make decisions aligned with our values, unburdened by the weight of financial obligations. Romans 13 verse 8 encourages us to let no debt remain outstanding, reminding us that managing debt is essential to maintaining financial peace and being free to give generously. By minimizing debt, we gain the freedom to use our wealth for things that align with our values. We can pursue our goals, invest in opportunities, and help others without the constant pressure of debt. This approach not only leads to financial stability, but also allows us to be more generous, as we're not restricted by the need to repay what we owe. When we manage our finances carefully, we free ourselves to use our resources in ways that reflect God's love and bring joy to others. Finally, contentment and gratitude are essential principles in biblical wealth building. In a world that often tells us we need more to be happy, the Bible encourages us to be content with what we have. 1 Timothy 6 verses 6 to 8 says, "Godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it." Contentment is about appreciating what we already have, rather than constantly striving for more. It doesn't mean we shouldn't have goals, but it reminds us not to base our happiness on material possessions. When we practice gratitude, we recognize the abundance in our lives and focus on the blessings God has already given us. Gratitude is a powerful mindset that allows us to find peace and joy, even when our financial goals are still in progress. Psalm 107 verse 1 encourages us to give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. By focusing on God's blessings, we learn to appreciate the journey, not just the destination. This attitude helps us make wise financial decisions, avoid impulsive purchases, and keep our priorities aligned with God's purpose. A grateful heart transforms our perspective on wealth, reminding us that true riches come from a life filled with purpose, generosity, and connection to God. In summary, building wealth God's way isn't just about accumulating money. It's about using our resources in ways that honor Him and uplift others. By seeing ourselves as stewards, working diligently, giving generously, managing debt wisely, and cultivating gratitude, we create a foundation for wealth that aligns with God's principles. This approach helps us find a deeper sense of purpose, knowing that our wealth is a tool for creating positive impact and living out our faith. By following these biblical principles, we can experience real prosperity, not just in financial terms, but in all areas of life. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about building wealth in a way that aligns with your faith, don't forget to subscribe to Wealth Without Limits. We'd love to have you as part of our community, so be sure to hit the notification bell as well to stay updated on our latest videos. Thank you for watching, and remember that wealth with purpose is wealth without limits.